Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're really super excited to be welcoming the lovely Sabrina Grant with RTS Futures Presents Becoming a TV Presenter. So we are so excited for you to all be joining us today. Thank you all so much for taking the time out to be here. It's a pleasure to present our wonderful host, Sabrina. Hi, Sabrina.
Hello, Lauren.
Hello. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm dressed, got my lipstick on. I'm dressed from the bottom as well.
No pyjama bottoms on then?
No pyjama bottoms.
She means business today.
I mean business. I'm ready.
Oh, thanks so much for joining us, Sabrina. It's honestly a real pleasure having you. Before we get going, I would just sort of love to kind of play a little bit about your career and just a little bit of your show reel, just to give everyone a taste of what you've been up to so far.
Okay.
And I just want to sort of let everybody know, obviously this is a sort of a session where Sabrina will be talking about her amazing career so far, and we'll also be looking into essentially how she got there, and her journey, and any pointers and tips that she can give anyone aspiring to, who want to become a television presenter or work in the industry. We'll get all the top tips from Sabrina today, and we will be taking your questions at the end. So if you want to use the chat function at the bottom of the Zoom, we will collate those and we'll try and get through as many as we can at the end as well. But first, let's have a look at Sabrina in action. Kirsty, Jamie, I think we're ready to play the show reel now, so I'll hand it over to you, and then we'll get chatting.
We all have things that we love. Gifts from our childhood, hand-me-downs, and treasures that have real meaning. But quite often, we just don't know what to do with them. They lie neglected in cupboards, lofts, and garages.
It's kind of just taking up a lot of space. Not
good enough to use, but too precious to lose. Welcome to Saved and Remade.
Oh, that's amazing. You've gone above, you've surpassed what I was expecting.
All the gold was melted down, so there's parts of your mum there, there's parts of your grandma there.
You've reunited the family again, actually, in a ring.
Hello, welcome to Morning Live. Today, as the Met Office issues an amber weather warning for Storm Darcy, it is chilly, isn't it?
It's so cold.
You were wearing your coat in the meeting this morning,
I've got a
Sabrina.
long, big coat. It's like a duvet, massive hood. You know I don't do the cold. You know I don't do the cold.
Have you warmed up now?
I'm nice and toasty and lovely.
Good. Ready to go.
I've got my tea.
You got your tea, though.
It's going to get cold this weekend. Just thought I'd warn you that temperatures could drop to below -5 in some parts of the UK. Do you have a set temperature that you keep your thermostat on?
I actually don't mind it being a bit cooler, but it's probably about 20 degrees. And my partner really feels the cold. So he'll have a thick duvet and I'll have a thin duvet. And I'll keep opening the window and he'll be sitting on the radiator trying to keep warm.
So you sleep with separate duvets in the bed?
We do at the moment, yeah.
I feel so environmentally bad right now that you're asking me these questions, because my one's at full power.
What temperature do you have it at?
30.
30?
Yeah.
I think I have mine at 30, you know.
It's never hot enough though, is it?
I've got the heating on 24/7.
Have you?
Well, maybe not 24/7, but...
Your bills.
I know.
Are you paying more at the moment?
Smart meters though, way forward.
Really?
Yeah. I've got it on my phone. I can turn it off right now. My girlfriend will have a hissy fit. She's on the call. And she'll be so upset, she'll be like, why have you turned the heating off? And I'll be like, we've got to save energy, you know?
Do you often argue over the temperature of your home?
No, not really, actually. She's the one who controls it, so I just do what she does. I just get told off otherwise.
Any other tips for keeping warm?
Sister taught me to salsa. Is you just, in, out, that's all I know. Right in the middle. There you go. That's it. How easy is that? It's like the easiest thing in the world.
Do you do this at home to warm up?
Sometimes.
A little bit about heart math.
How does that work?
Ah, right. OK, so at the top of this, we talked about how we're going to reduce our stress. Heart math is something that's used by all 4 divisions of the American military. And we could do it now. It's safe to do it. So if you are feeling stressed or anxious right now, what you do is this. You put your hand on your heart. That moves your attention to your heart, which is the second brain. And also, you take 3 slow, deep breaths, because when people are stressed, they don't breathe properly, they're all tense. So what you do is you relax and you breathe a gentle breath in.
You close your eyes
and then
as well.
you let it go. Yes, close your eyes if it's safe to do so. And then you breathe in.
Am I safe here? Don't try and hypnotise me. Here at Super Shoppers, we found that dates vary between brands.
Are you hungry?
I've got my Sainsbury's mayonnaise and it says once opened, consume within 4 weeks. So I hope you're hungry.
That is really weird because my Hellmann's mayonnaise says that I can consume it within 3 months. Oh, God. Are you OK?
Mm-hmm. It's just that my Sainsbury's water says once opened, use within 3 days, so...
I've just bought Highland Spring, and this you can drink within 7 days.
I don't know about you, but my heart is crying out for a holiday. After months inside, we're all desperate to get away. And with many of us saving money during lockdown, a luxury break has never been more tempting. So can we give ourselves the hope of something to look forward to without losing out financially if everything goes wrong again this summer? Currently, all holidays are banned, and there are no guarantees about when we can travel again. But as the government sets out plans to allow some of us to travel abroad as early as May, I'll find out whether now is the right time to book.
Oh. How was it watching all of that back, Sabrina?
Gosh, Lauren, do you know what? Firstly, you can see I love a bit of pink.
Pink is your colour, I have to say.
And also, I was sort of a little bit blown away, like, watching it back. Gosh, the journey, because when you're in this, you're just sort of, I don't know, you don't really sit back and take stock. So it was really weird watching it back, and I think my agent put together that showreel, so it was just really interesting seeing myself back. And I guess now's the time to celebrate and to discuss, you know, all what goes into the end glossy product, which is what everyone else sees, and no one gets to really know and learn and find out about all the other bits that go into getting to that level.
100%. Do you ever get used to watching yourself back and listening to yourself? Do you ever do that?
I think at the moment I'm okay with doing it, and because it's so much part of my learning process, I think it is important to watch yourself back when you're a presenter, when you're on screen, to help. Number one, I think, because sometimes what we do and say and what's happening in our head is completely different to what's actually happening and what we're delivering and what we're performing. So for me, it's very important within these early stages of my career, even though I've been in the industry quite a while now, but it's really important for me to watch myself back and to, as much as, you know, I might be a bit critical of myself, but to also, you know, compliment myself on the good things that I like about my performance and what I'm doing. And then
certainly should be proud and confident. It's such a pleasure and joy to watch, honestly.
Thank you.
I could have watched more of that.
Yeah. And we've known each other for years because we studied together. So
we have. We go way back. So this is fabulous, being able to recap everything now with you and sort of share your journey. Obviously, I know your journey inside out, really, but it's just a wonderful story and kind of thing to share with everyone. So really super excited to kind of dive in and sort of share your story with everyone now. So let's go back to let's kind of go back to Sabrina Grant, the early years, I like to call it. So I suppose, yeah, just tell us about you. And did you always know this is something you wanted to do as a child, I suppose? And where did you sort of grow up? Yeah, so just sort of tell us about your early kind of years, I suppose.
Early years. Well, I grew up in a single parent family. My mum, there was 6 of us, and I grew up in South London.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can tell by my accent. I don't think my accent's that strong, but grew up in South London. I actually grew up on a council's estate, and when you're young, I think I went through all the sort of jobs that you think you want to do. Oh, I want to be a hairdresser, or I want to be a... What else did I have? I think maybe hairdresser was a strong one that went for a while.
You are very good at hair, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love doing hair, and
Very good at hair.
Thank you.
I remember you used to always plait my hair and do.
Yeah, I did, didn't I? At school.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know when it changed for me, but I think maybe from watching like popular like morning TV shows like Live and Kicking. They had wicked like Saturday TV, didn't they, when we were growing up?
So good.
And I just sort of like would watch these presenters like Zoe Ball, Kat Deely. I used to love Davina McCall. I was so obsessed with her, and I was just like, oh, I love what they're doing, and I would love to. There was always something in me. My family that we're quite creative. My mum was very creative. She was always constantly getting us to like perform and put on shows and enter competitions. But I just had a real love for presenting. But to be honest, Lauren, I had no idea at the time how to connect the two. Like, how does a little girl like me get on the screen? And also, you know, I spoke about a lot of my favourite presenters, but a lot of them didn't look like me. So it was also like, how do I become that? How do I get there? And it wasn't until I was like 13, I went to an event with my friends at the Earl's Court. It was called the Extravaganza. I think it was just like a really nice random day, you know, like those big exhibitions.
Oh yeah.
And whilst I was there with my brother, my friends, I think we were like, I don't know what we were doing. I'd been playing some music and we were showing off and we were dancing. And I got handed a flyer to the Brit School.
Yeah.
And I saw this flyer and I was like, oh, this sounds amazing. A free performing arts school. My mum doesn't have to pay a penny. I just need her to be on board with me, you know, leaving my secondary school at year 7. Do we go at year 8?
Yeah, you went to the actual school as well.
So I went to a normal school and I was like, oh, this looks amazing. I read the flyer, they had an open day. I was like, Mum, please, can you take me to this school? They had media studies, musical theatre, dance, drama, all the things I was into. So Mum took me to the open day. I looked around and even she knew. She was like, this is a bit of you.
Yeah.
No,
this is meant to be.
This is meant to be. So yeah, auditioned, did all the things it took to get in there, and I got in there. And you know, because that's where we met. And I love that we're friends, you know, still how many years later. And we met there and I got the opportunity to learn so much. I first went there, I did media studies.
Yeah.
There was a Brit FM radio station I got to host and be a presenter. And to be honest, they didn't have that many. The Brit School was very good for like music connections because they were funded by the British record industry. And the media studies course was good. I can imagine it's even more amazing now because we didn't have much back then. We had the radio station.
That was a little while ago now, so I think it
was so long ago.
So much.
Yeah.
It's still such a magical place is how I could describe it.
It's such a magical place. I think any performing arts school and any school that you're in as well right now, being of that age, you have so much time to just explore, you know, your personality, find your tribe of friends. And we didn't wear school uniforms, so we got to really express ourselves in, you know, how we dressed. And it was just a really nice place to have a bit of fun and find out who you are in a way. You may not get there at school, but you're in a safe place to try lots of different things
and explore who you were.
Yes, exactly. So from then, for post 16, I went and did musical theatre because I didn't have the media course then. But my teachers kind of advised me that, and I'm not mad that I did musical theatre actually, because they talk about being in an industry. It's as a presenter, I guess the more strings you have to your bow, the more all-rounded you are. The more it just helps you in lots of different roles. So I love that I studied musical theatre. And also in my showreel, there was a scene actually with Anna Richardson where I was doing a bit of acting, and
Yeah.
you'd never think that, you know, those skills would cross over. And also part of presenting it, you're being genuine, but you're also putting on a performance. So I got so many skills from going to the Brit School and going on to further education to get a degree in acting and performance. And I'd made loads of friends like yourself who worked in the media.
Yeah.
And when the time came to, like, you know, work in TV, I was literally calling all my contacts. I called you, didn't I, Lauren? Because you were
Yeah.
working in media, and you actually helped me to get my first, get my foot in the door for
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah, I remember that. And well, I always knew you'd do really well anyway. And it's all about that calling your contacts and using your, not using your friends, but honestly tapping them up to try and, you know, get to where you want to get to. And I think everyone does it, and it's such an important sort of way of having that network around you and utilizing the people around you, I guess.
Well, exactly.
Because, you know, all that 15 years ago we met, and that, you know, you just don't know who you need to kind of, yes, you know, you'll keep people close to you, and, you know, good friends will always help you out, won't
Exactly.
they?
So that is, you've touched on tip number one. Form, you know, networking doesn't have to be daunting. You just need to think about forming genuine connections with people. And because you never know who will be where, you know, we're all striving to do stuff, and it does take a village. No one, and you know, you should be able to call someone and ask for help, and, you know, don't be scared of doing that. And you know, I did that, and I took the plunge of Lauren, look, I want to do this, I want to get into TV, are there any tips and pointers you can give me? And, you know, luckily Lauren had, you know, the time to sit with me and go through certain things. But I've also been in a situation where I've asked for help and haven't heard back from anyone. So
that is also quite common.
That's very common.
You have to have a thick skin, I would imagine.
You have to be a thick skin, but honestly, don't be discouraged if you have reached out for someone for help and they've not got back to you. Keep asking, keep putting yourself out there. I love when people contact me on my Instagram, and when I have time, I actually get back to as many people as I can, you know, personally, or I'll try to do like a little video or an Insta story, you know, sharing whatever I know. Because, you know, how else can you get there? And then there's no secret. And I think what's different from the way I've done it is that I've just always wanted to be a presenter. So that's been my main goal. And I think some of the battles that I've come up against, and I'm sure people that are watching now may think, what is the road to getting there? Because I notice I see a lot of people who were, say, in a pop band, or they've been on a reality show, and, or, you know, whatever, and that what they're doing has kind of like maybe has its lifespan ends, and they think, oh, what now? I'll get into TV, I'll be a presenter.
But
and
you always had it in your mind, that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, I've always had that. So I was like, gosh, how do I get there? It's not the next thing I want to go on to. It's the thing.
It's you always had sort of that direction and idea in the back of your mind. Because, I mean, after just sort of going back to your kind of studies and things like that, so obviously you went to the Brit School, you finished your course there, you made amazing friends, as you say, who will then go on to become in your network, and people that will potentially, you know, help you out sort of later on down the line. So you went to the Brit School, you've kind of learnt your craft there, and I imagine, I know it's such a place of, you know, you learn your discipline there, don't you? And then you went on to study at Mountview.
Yes, I went to Mountview.
Yeah, so that was your further education then, was it?
Yeah, I got further education.
Can you tell us a little bit about your time there, and how that sort of helped you, again, sort of learn your craft, I suppose?
Yeah, I went to Mountview to do my degree. I got a 2-1. At the time, I wasn't sure as well whether I wanted to do straight acting or whether I wanted to do musical theatre. But by that time, I had decided that I think my strength lied in acting. I think it went acting, dance, and then singing. So I thought, let me stick to the acting. That's what I'm strongest at. And again, I think I love that you mentioned the word discipline, because that's what you get to learn by training, you know. And when you go to a special place like Mountview, it's not like other unis where maybe you're in 2 days a week and you've got your coursework at home. We're
very different vibe, I would imagine.
Very different, yeah. We're in every single day, like, Yeah, every single day.
Yeah.
And you learn discipline, you learn to be on time, you learn to work with lots of different types of people. And I could have done a bit more in terms of, being disciplined in myself, in terms of going that extra mile, like with the reading and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it's all hindsight, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. If
Make
you
the
could
best
talk
of
to
you
your
can.
younger self.
Yeah. And you know what I also learned on the flip side of it? It's very weird that I feel like sometimes in colleges and schools, like the teachers have their favourites, and I don't think I really was a favourite. But
Okay.
you, I don't think I wasn't really a favourite. I don't really think teachers saw potential in me until the third year. I was surprised when I got a lead in one of my plays, and I was
Right.
wow, like they do believe in me.
Yeah.
So what I would say is, and I'm learning this still within the industry now, don't rely on others to give you your confidence and your self-worth.
That's a really good tip, and really, really good and useful tip. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't rely on others to give that to you. That's something that you need to work on, and that's that you don't get swayed off it. Know your worth, know what you're capable of doing, and constantly keep working on yourself and on your craft, and opportunities will come.
Yeah.
So hello.
Oh, take us for a little tour of that front room.
I know. So I love that view. It was 3 years of training, very intense.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I'm really glad I did it. I'm really glad.
And sort of when you came to that third year then, so, everyone gets to that stage, and I'm sure a lot of people tuning in now maybe are kind of at that stage, and they're finishing up their sort of, university courses and drama school courses. So you got to that third year, what happened then? So obviously it's not a kind of walk in the park to get to where you are today. Let's be honest, it's you have to go through and go through a lot of kind of challenges, lots of different routes, I would imagine. So when you got to that third year, can you talk us about your kind of break into the industry? You mentioned earlier, a bit of TV work and styling, and can you just talk us through maybe some of that moment when you left Mount View and then your sort of transition, say, into the real world, and what you did to try and get that first break? I think that would be really interesting.
Okay, so in the third year, they encourage you to try and get an agent. So when you have your showcase, lots of agents come along to watch your final performance and hopefully sign you up after. I didn't get an agent, so I was thinking, oh my goodness, I'm panicking. What am I going to do? No one's taken me on. No one signed me. What am I going to do? But actually, no one will work harder for yourself than you will. So that kicked me in. I actually went back recently, and I was going into like my emails, and gosh, I was so confident in the way I would just send out emails and be like, hello, and introduce myself to production companies and other agents. And so I was very proactive in making contacts in the industry and finding ways to be seen and get shown.
How important do you think that is to be proactive then?
Oh, it's very important. It's very, very important. And you need to have a plan, so to speak. And I'll get onto that a bit later. But really, I went out, I auditioned. I think there were self-managed agencies that were managed by actors that you could get access to what auditions were happening and stuff like that. And so I was acting for a while. I got to do some stage shows. I got to tour some schools and do some productions. I got to do like a radio.
Can you tell us one of your most memorable things you did? Was there a job you were like, I can't believe I did that?
When I was acting.
Yeah, or just in that early kind of stages.
What job? Oh my goodness, I did. I did this panto. And I say panto, there were 3 actors in it, and we played like 20 characters.
Oh, wow. That's good. That's impressive.
We did a Dick Whittington tour. We drove ourselves.
A 3-man panto.
A 3-man panto. Oh, gosh, that was so funny.
Brilliant.
You look back now and you think, what on earth was that all about?
I love it. It makes you who you are, is what I say.
Yeah,
it's all character building.
That's it. It's all character building. Yeah. And half the time, you know, you're doing stuff and it's like, I call it like pieces of the puzzle. Yeah. Eventually they all will slot in and that puzzle will look amazing.
Yes.
So yeah, that was quite a funny job that I did.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I did a lot of acting and stuff like that. But obviously, I said I contacted you, and I thought, right, well, in between the acting jobs, I was just either working in a bar, I was working as a promo girl back in the days. You know, you used to see people handing out like freebies at the train station and stuff like that. I was doing anything actually, Lauren, just to make ends meet and to earn a bit of money. But I just started to get really frustrated by that, and I worked at a call center and a bit disheartened. Like I was just like, oh, this isn't the life for me. Yeah. So I thought, right, come on, you've studied media at school. Let's try and get into the industry that way. Yeah. And work my way up from there. Yeah. And something quite significant happened in my life. There was a death in my family. Yeah. My sister died, and when that happened, it really changed my outlook on life. It was like, what do I really want? Yeah. And you know, what is it that I truly really want to do? And I shouldn't be scared of going for that, because I was just like, life's too short, go for the things that you want to do. Absolutely. And that's when I was like, it's presenting is what I've always wanted to do. Yeah. And so I contacted you. I got my foot in the door. I think I worked on, was it Britain's Got Talent?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Britain's Got Talent as a runner. So I worked as a runner. Then I worked at ITV with you, and then I worked on. Sorry, a question was popping up. I was like, we'll wait till the end. And do ask loads of questions, by the way.
Don't worry.
We'll have a question and answer session. I started off as a production runner. The production runner is like a general assistant of a production. They can be doing anything from photocopying scripts, looking after talent, making teas and coffee, working with the directors, the producers, getting, you know, you're like the glue of a production. You work very, very hard. There were some and long hours, and there were some days I was like in tears at the end of a shift, like, oh, I'm so tired. But it's invaluable training, because I learned so much about what it takes to put a production together and learn about everyone's roles. So I sort of worked my way up through the ranks in TV. So as a runner, I did that for maybe 8 months or so, a bit longer. Then I worked as a researcher, a junior researcher, and a researcher on certain shows like The Chase, the quiz show. I've actually got some badges and passes here, actually.
Oh, wow, look at those. You have to keep these memorabilia.
I will. Here's some I dug up earlier. So look, my day, can you imagine this? My days at the BBC.
Oh, look at you. Never lose that, Sabrina.
Look at that hair.
Look at that hair.
So I worked, you know, can you imagine? I worked as a runner at the BBC, and now I'm presenting on BBC. I worked at ITV. I got into styling, so I was a researcher, and then I was, and actually, I was a researcher, and I was like, that's as far as I want to go, because actually, presenting is what I want to do. So.
And I suppose it was important for you you were doing those jobs, but not losing sight of what your kind of main goal was, I suppose.
That's the thing. Yeah. So I spoke about having a plan, you know, things take time. We can't rush these things. So it was taking the time to learn, and I see it as learning my craft, learning the industry in which I want to go into.
Invaluable, I would imagine.
Yeah, invaluable.
Working on your sets now and working with your two, you know how things are run. So I suppose you store all that knowledge, and it's invaluable, I would imagine.
It really, really helps. And it helps a lot with coping with nerves, I think, when I got there, because I was like, okay, this is like familiar territory. I don't need to be nervous. I know how it works. I know who this person is. I know who I need to speak to about my microphone and all that stuff. And I'm still learning, even now at work, you know, on Morning Live. I mean, it's been a bit difficult because of lockdown and stuff, but I try to can I go and sit in the gallery and watch a show, even if I'm not presenting it. So constantly learning.
What would you say was then? You're obviously constantly learning. You've done an array of different jobs. You said, you know, you tried the media route. You were doing all the acting jobs before that. You did some styling in TV as well in between. Yeah. was the turning point for you? So when did you get that call or that moment? Can you recall it of, okay, this is going to change now? Can you sort of let us know what that moment was?
Well, sometimes you get a few of those moments.
Yeah.
So I remember working. So as I was working TV, it came to a point where I wanted to put a presenter show reel together.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, I feel ready now. I'm going to put a presenter show reel together, and I'm going to get that sent out to as many agents as I can.
Great.
And even at that stage, I got a lot of no's.
And thick skin.
Again, have that thick skin, baby. I got a lot of no's, but because I'd been working in TV and I'd got to know a lot of people within the industry, I knew people who, had presenting agents. So I could say to them, do you mind, dropping or letting your agent know my show reel's coming? And it was actually my partner at the time was with the agent that I'm with now.
Yeah.
And they were able to help me to get my show reel seen by John Knoll. And met John Knoll, and again, I actually had no idea when I met him. I was like, I want to be a presenter, and he's like, doing what? And I was like, presenting stuff. And
I suppose there's so many genres, and
there's so many genres. There's
so many places. Where do you fit? I suppose was the big question for you.
Yeah, where do I fit in, and what can I do? And obviously, I would have loved to have done something with styling and fashion.
Yeah.
And around
that's always been a passion of yours, hasn't it?
Always been a little passion of mine. And I still I'm hoping to get to do a show about fashion.
It's just so natural to you.
And have a bit of fun and like a creative competitive series, designers and stuff like that. But I think the biggest turning point was when I met Anna Richardson, and I was doing some styling for her. And she suggested me to screen test for a role to co-present with her Super Shoppers on Channel 4.
Wow.
And she texted me very casually, like, because she knew, and also when I was working in TV, I wasn't telling everyone from the start, I want to be a TV presenter, I want to be a TV presenter. I wasn't doing that. I had my head down and I was very clear and focused. This stage of my career is learning about the industry.
Yes.
And then I had the switch, right, now I'm going to do my show reel.
Yes. So you were focused at being a researcher. You were head down, learning, doing what you needed to do.
Yes.
But this opportunity came up, which is obviously amazing.
Learning, head down, focus, but always keeping my beady eyes and listening and learning the whole time. But then Anna, so obviously Anna, we got to know each other as we were working together. I was styling her, and I said, yeah. And I'd also been, started when I got my agent. I started screen testing for certain jobs, and so she knew I was presenting. And also I thought that children's presenting seems to be the way to get in as well for a lot of the what do I call them? A lot of the, what do you say, the original presenters. Not original, that sounds really weird, but how presenting was done back in the day. A lot of people started from children's TV, like Holly Willoughby, Zoe Ball, and then they branch out into other things. So I thought children's TV is the way to go. And actually, I did get a BBC Two learning show through someone that I'd met working in TV, someone called Carrie Grant. Remember Carrie and David Grant?
Yes, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'd met her working in TV, and I actually interviewed her for a show reel that I was putting together, which I'd often do. I'd had a YouTube channel, but not to be a YouTuber, just a YouTuber, happened to me, but just to practice my interviewing technique. So whenever I could, I'd say, do you mind if I just do an interview? I'd take my camera along, I'd meet them wherever they were, and just have a quick little interview with them.
Yeah, good idea.
And so people got to know me, so people started to say my name and suggest me for roles. So Carrie Grant was one of them. That was my first BBC Two show. It was a children's show, and it was about learning how to tell the time, and a lovely production company in Glasgow. And the second time was Anna Richardson, who suggested me for a primetime show, primetime flagship show on Channel 4.
I remember you telling me this information, and I think I was more excited than you were.
You were.
No, I wasn't, but I was like, okay, this is definitely something.
This is big. This is like prime time.
Yeah.
And Anna texted me, hey, I'm not sure if you're interested, but I suggested you to co-host a Channel 4 show with me, prime time show. Not sure if it's your thing or.
So casual.
so casual. And it was about it's a consumer show, and it kind of at that time, you know, it was about shopping. It's about how we spend our money. It was about shopping. It was a magazine style show, which means it covered lots of different topics, and it just pieced together all the things that I've been doing to get there, and it seemed like a perfect fit. And I got on with Anna very well, and it was nice to have you know,
you were fabulous.
yeah, they always look for, you know, just to have a chemistry and a rapport with someone. So I screen tested, I got that role, and I remember, oh, that feeling, Lauren.
What did it feel like? I mean, all of those jobs you did, all of the, you know, and the challenges you kind of faced, and those acting jobs, that 3-man panto, like it was all worthwhile.
It was all worthwhile. I can't even explain. And you know, when you want something so much, like that job I really wanted. When I did the screen test, I did 2 screen tests, and I was like, I feel so sick. Like, I just have to get this one. But also you're like, but also be calm. It's fine. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. But I really want it. And I remember the moment of finding out. I'd gone down to go and get a manicure and a pedicure. And my phone was ringing in my phone was ringing in my bag, and it was really weird because the beautician went to my bag and she was like, your phone. She brought me my phone. I was like, very strange. And I got the call from the producer saying, hey, Sabrina, we loved you so much. We'd love to offer you the job. And I was like, ah! And I was sitting in one of those massage chairs that was like pummeling my back. And I was like,
what a
moment.
What a moment. That is incredible. And something I'm sure you will never, ever
I'll never forget that.
No.
And that was a massive turning point for me.
Yeah. And with kind of in the industry now, obviously you've kind of grown, like you've got the momentum going now. We'll go on to kind of your highlights and your sort of best bits in a moment. But, you know, the industry, how have you kind of found it in terms of getting in, and have there been any sort of challenges and how you've overcome those, and sort of how has it been straightforward or not so straightforward?
The latter. Not so straightforward.
Yeah.
But I never, I don't know, I quite like a challenge, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Because I mean, nothing's easy. If everything was easy, then everyone would be doing it, wouldn't they? Everyone would be very rich and successful. So I think everything that we're going for in any industries has its challenges. I think the main thing for me that I've learned is resilience, patience, persistence, and you know, and that self-belief, knowing that the self-belief. Or even though I'm still working on my confidence now, but the industry is hard because you don't know, you're not in control of it. I think that's the thing. You're not in control. But what you can do, and what I've learned now, when I started working TV, I thought, oh, what areas am I interested in? What do I really love? And what am I passionate about? And what shows can I present? And what projects can I get involved with that will reflect that, so that I have a genuine connection with the show? Like Saved and Remade, that's why I love it so much. I'm massive on sustainability. I had a personal connection to, you know, transforming some precious items that belong to me. And I think it's really useful to present shows that you have a genuine interest of. I also finally, you know, was able to figure out what genre I was into in terms of what types of shows I would like to present. So I'm very much into I love entertainment shows, and I would love to do some of those, but I also love the factually entertaining shows like the Bake Off and the Sewing Bee, where you're learning as well. It's not just all light.
You did the Sewing Bee, didn't you?
Yeah, I did a Sewing Bee at Christmas.
Yes, that was amazing.
That was so fun and very stressful.
Well, I looked it. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh, sewing under pressure, and I cut my hand with some scissors, and that was a bit of fun. But yeah, I guess it's like it's taken me a while to figure out where I fit, I guess.
Yes. And so now you've sort of, do you think you've kind of grasped, I suppose it's all throughout your kind of career development and things, I suppose it's growing to understand kind of who you are as a person is fundamental in all of this, to know which direction you want to go in and things. So that, I suppose that's a big kind of takeaway from what you've kind of said, I think, today. I'm very aware of time. I could talk.
Yes, I know.
And I want to get around to people's
Let's get some questions.
But can you just give us your kind of career highlight? You've got, your fabulous Saved and Remade show that's on at the moment, and you had a very heartwarming episode with you and your mum this week. But yeah, can you tell us? Oh, some fabulous pictures.
Look at that.
Of you. Just
well, it's all there. Yeah,
moments. But what are your what's your biggest highlight or highlights? Just give us a couple and then we'll take people's questions.
Yeah, I want to get to people's questions. It's very important. The biggest one is, and I've got it right here, it was winning the RTS Presenter Award, personality, what was it? On-screen personality, RTS.
That's amazing.
That was the biggest highlight, because it wasn't so much the fact that I've just been going so long, and there's people along the way that they really believed in me, and they really, you keep hearing, took the risk, or they took me on as a new talent, as a an unknown name, and then but then winning this was like a massive, just a big tick. It was like, yes, like people believed in me, and the Royal Television Society panel, selected me. I was up against people like Kirsty and Phil Alsop, and that was just such a career highlight. It was like, yes.
Yeah, and is that taking pride of place in your living room?
Yes, in my living room. And it's always good to start any sentence with award-winning presenter.
Always helps.
It always helps. That's good credibility. So thank you so much, RTS. So that's been a good career highlight. And my show, Saved and Remade, and what I'm doing now at the moment. And I'm only just kind of scratching the surface, even though it's taken years. I went to Brit School at 14. It's taken so long to get here. And I'm just so excited for all the projects that I'm involved with right now. It's all a highlight. Any piece of the success is a highlight. Even today is a highlight. Being here, talking to you and talking to everyone who's tuned in now. And getting to communicate directly with you and answer some of your questions that you have. Honestly, I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's amazing. You're doing so well. And how important, do you ever really stop learning in this industry, do you think?
No, never. I don't think so. Not me anyway. I'm constantly learning, constantly learning. Even when I think I've nailed something, I like to watch, as I said, I watch things back and I'm like, work on that. You're working with different people all the time, so you're constantly learning how other people like to work and how you work with them. It's all learning. Life is all learning as well.
Yeah.
Never stop learning.
Fab.
So be open. And you said something really nice to me the other day on the phone, where you were like, just be gracious, open, and
just be yourself. Is all I can say to you, and that's I just think that's all anyone can really be, isn't it? And I think it's super important, because when you're yourself and you're your charming self, it's that translates, I guess, on the screen. Okay, great. So I want to get through some people's questions now, but certainly I just want to sort of kick off by saying, is it necessary to have formal training to get TV presenting, would you say?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think it's necessary at all. And actually, I've even had I've been presenter training myself. So I had some presenter training at Channel 4, BBC have invested in me, and they're going to give me some presenter trainings. Again, that's still learning. I'm happy to receive that. I don't need to be like, no, I know what I'm doing.
No.
Take all the opportunities that can come to you. It's just that I knew from a young age what I wanted to do. But I don't think it's necessary to have your training, but do watch and learn what other people are doing, what qualities you like in other people that you watch on TV. And there's so much you can do yourself. You don't need to go to a school to do that. I don't think so.
Okay. And right, I'm going to get through some of these questions in our last 15 minutes now.
Let's do it.
But first of all, is there anywhere you can look for presenting opportunities and things? Is there anywhere you can look for them? Obviously, opportunities sort of come up, and it's not sort of a linear way. It's not a linear career as we've sort of found out today. But is there any places people can sort of look and look for those sort of opportunities?
I think there are. I think I did. I literally just typed into Google. There were places like, I mean, Channel 4, they have there are lots of productions that work with young people and aspiring presenters. And I can't remember some of their names. I can't remember, but I mean, obviously RTS Futures do a lot.
Yeah.
Channel 4, what's their thing I actually applied for? They run a course. When I say be proactive, so look at places like the BBC, and if you watch TV shows online, there are opportunities out there. Check on Twitter, check on I don't know, there's somewhere specific. There are things if you look out for them.
There. I remember back in the day, it was the Stage newspaper.
The Stage, yeah, we had the Stage.
That
so
was
old school. Back in the day. Yeah, it was the Stage newspaper. There are opportunities out there. Keep your eye out on Twitter and stuff like that. And also, don't be afraid of doing your own content. Getting out there and filming something and put it on your Instagram, on your channels, and that way you're showcasing yourself and people may come to you.
Yeah, so being proactive is a key skill that we've taken.
Yeah. But I think there are a lot of training opportunities, so just have a look online and see. Yeah.
Question from so we've got hi Sabrina. How do you make a show reel if you have no real presenting experience, and when is it the right time to get an agent?
What's the top bit? How do you
make a show reel if you have no real presenting experience, and when is it the right time to get an agent?
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely fine. My show reel's online. My show reel's on YouTube if you want to have a look. So first stage, when I was thinking of my show reel, I watched other people's first. And, I think you know, don't you, in like the first sort of 30 seconds of watching something, am I engaged? Am I going to keep watching it? So what I'd say is do your research and watch some other show reels. And in your show reel, your show reel needs to show who you are. So you don't worry about, you haven't had any presenting experience, show who you are. And I'd say it's very important to have maybe a piece to camera, so something very short where you're talking directly to the lens. Include maybe a short interview exchange, and then have something in there that you're passionate about. That will really show your spark and what makes you individual. Right. And then you then could send that out to agents, but my agents, they're amazing, but they're like my managers, and you need to have a clear idea of what you want to do. So it is good to have an agent because they can maybe help you to get in a room, or if you say I want to meet this person, well, they have the contacts to do that. So I think you can start looking for an agent whenever you feel ready to, really. Yeah.
Good answers there. And then we've got a question here from David. I'm currently on a journey as an editor and producer. I did acting and love performance, and he would love to get into presenting. Can I develop a parallel career as a presenter, or is it all or nothing?
No, absolutely. Like David, as you said, I was doing so many things on the side, my little side hustle. To keep me going. So I was working behind the scenes. I was working as a stylist, and in between then I was doing the screen test, but still keeping that on the go as well, until that's what you can do until then you start getting the bigger opportunities in presenting, and that takes over, and now all I do is presenting. So you definitely can do them side by side.
Brilliant.
You're an editor. Oh, let's talk.
Okay, good. We got a question here from Emily. We seem to have lots in common, Sabrina. I'm wearing bright pink today too. The question is, what age were you when you worked as a runner and researcher? I feel I've missed the boat now, being 31. No, you have not. I've lots of experience, have my degrees. I just feel I need an agent now to take me to the next step. What's your advice on that?
Hello, love a bit of pink. Babes, you are fine. I started at 27, and at that time I was probably one of the oldest runners around, but use that to your advantage, because actually I was able to, because I was more developed in terms of where I am in life. I was proactive. I knew how to multitask. I had a lot more skills than some of the younger runners, which actually helped me to propel through the process a lot quicker. And people wanted to work with me because I was efficient, and I was a good communicator and stuff like that. So I was making less mistakes than maybe some of the younger runners were. So babes, Listen, age is nothing. At
Nothing
any time,
number.
age is nothing. At any time in your life, when you decide that you want to do something, go and do it.
Yeah,
Go
100%.
and do it. And what's the second part of the question?
Yeah, just she feels like she needs to get an agent now to take me to my next step. I mean, how critical is that?
Yeah, you know, I've been with my agent maybe 7 years or so, and it's only in the past. It was only from 2017, so in the past 4 years that things started to get there. So do as much as you can. Are you doing as much as you can? Really ask yourself that question right now, in terms of get putting yourself out there. And then when you feel that if you feel that you hit a rut, then I'd say, you know, try to start contacting some agents. But also, if you have any show ideas that you think you'd like to present, try to contact, you know, production companies and say, don't just introduce yourself to someone and say, I want to be a presenter. Say, I've got a really good idea for a show that I'd like to present, and use your ideas to get you seen, to get you noticed.
Brilliant. Great advice there. And Emily's got another question here. What would you recommend to film for a showreel during COVID? So it's a different sort of landscape at the moment, obviously. Did you start off with a niche in your original showreels, or did you change and develop when you started working with your agent?
Yeah, my showreel did change. I think I did like 5, 6. I did loads of showreels. I did one showreel just to like try and get me the agent. But also I was building up stuff online. As I said, I was rehearsing and practicing interviews. So what I was doing is trying to build up like a catalogue of work, so that you know, talking about lots of different things of my areas of interest. So if someone did come to me and say, so basically, yeah, it's like a CV online. That's what I was doing on my YouTube. So build up a catalogue of stuff so that you can easily send someone a link. Oh, here's me talking about this, or here's me doing this. That really helps. During COVID, I think things are lifting up now a bit. So I think you can still put a good showreel together, I think. And just remember, like, when you watch a show, certainly when I watch a show, I'm like, why is that person hosting it? Why, you know, you want to know their connection to it. So just choose things for now that you're genuinely passionate about and that you like. And that's how you'll get a really good showreel. You know, be creative. Watch stuff online and see what works. To make sure you don't need to have the best fancy camera. Just make sure you've got good sound quality and a good picture, and you're fine. I think I edited mine on iMovie, my my showreel. Honestly,
yeah,
I filmed it on a little something. It was called a bloggy. I don't even know what it was.
So it doesn't have to be super fancy.
It doesn't have to be super fancy and super professional. No, you don't need the best equipment. Just do it. Just get out there and start doing it. And even watch your showreels back as well. Yourself, so you can see, you know, practice first. Don't just go out there and do it straight away. Practice and watch yourself back, and you know, and do it that way. Hope these are helping.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And then Hannah's got a question here. How did you become a runner? We sort of covered this a little bit already. So how did you become a runner at ITV? I'm currently a researcher at the minute and would love to move from pre-production office-based planning to be in action and on set. What advice can you give for moving across the industry? I suppose I could help out with that question.
Yeah, you can do this one, Lauren.
Yeah. Oh, no, you go for it. You go.
Well, yeah, also I'd met Lawrence. I'd known we went to school together, so I guess that's very, very unique. But there are loads of jobs online. If you go direct to, say, BBC or Channel 4, just literally go on jobs and you'll be surprised that there are job advertisers, that they're advertising jobs for runners or researchers. There's some groups on Facebook. Honestly, Google's Google for a reason. Make Google your friend. And you know,
and you can certainly move across the industry into different genres and different things, especially at the early kind of stages. That's what early career is as runner and researchers. You get that flexibility of moving from one, you know, if you want casting into being on location, it's absolutely doable in those early years. Would you? Yeah. Sabrina, haven't done that really.
It's all about that. So try to, I don't know if you've worked with, think of maybe people that you've worked with on other shows that you're doing at the moment, and, you know, drop them a line or email if you still have their contact to see if you can, you know, get in somewhere else. But yeah, have much fun and learn and do as much as you want. Figure out where you eventually want to end up.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And I've got a question here from Emma. She says, thank you so much for this fabulous talk. So inspirational to hear about your story, Sabrina. My question is, did you have to travel around the UK a lot for different jobs? And did you have to do small jobs on the side? We've kind of spoken about this, but small jobs on the side while looking for your next job in the early stages of your career. So, I mean, what was that juggling like, I suppose?
Yeah. Luckily, when I got into styling, I was assisting a stylist, and at that stage, I was like, right, I'm gonna be honest about what I want to do. So she knew. So I had quite a good arrangement that I could work quite flexibly with her. So that was lucky. So I was able to go off screen tests and auditions and go for meetings. So luckily I had that relationship with her where I could do that. So if you could find something quite flexible that you can do like that on the way to keep yourself going, yeah, absolutely. I did juggle it, but you just work it out, don't you? When opportunities come up and you want to go for it, you'll just work it out.
You'll just make something work.
Yeah. And I have travelled quite a lot with work. It is really fun. I've travelled I've been to Ireland, a lot around the UK and Europe. I have never done anything like, I just did a recent holiday show with Channel 4, and I was like, if it wasn't COVID, I could have been in the Maldives. I could have been in the Maldives checking it out.
In your dream, instead you had to see photos of the Maldives.
Yeah, pictures, photographs. I'd imagine the sun on my face.
Yeah.
So yeah, travelling's quite fun as well to do with work. So yeah, and even if you have, I work with a presenter who has a baby, Kate Crawton, and she'd bring her baby along as well. So don't think if anyone wants to have children that it's impossible to work.
Yeah.
Having children, you make it where there's a will, there's a way.
That's a really good wise words. And we just got a couple of minutes left, so I've just got time for a couple more. So did you get your confidence in front of, this is from Tara, did you get your confidence in front of the camera from your training at the Brit School, or is that a skill you had to build yourself?
Brit School definitely helped with my confidence, but for me, I'll be honest, confidence is like an ongoing thing. And I guess being a presenter, you need that confidence. But I think the more, I don't know, confidence is it's something you're constantly learning and working on, isn't it? 'Cause sometimes you have those sort of days where you feel a little bit shy and coy, but the confidence comes in for me, like the preparation. So being prepared and knowing what I'm doing, what I'm talking about, and what's required of me, and that's where the confidence comes from. And it's something that I'm always learning, always building on as well.
Yes. Yeah. Great. And then Tara also asked, how did you get into your role as a stylist? I've heard a couple of presenters mention that that's how they made contacts with other presenters. So
I met the stylist from working in TV as well. So working as a runner, and as I said, you get to meet everyone that it takes to put a production together. And some of those people are wardrobe stylists who dress presenters, right? How is my battery? Sorry, my battery. So I met a stylist, and I started to work with her.
Okay.
And we met in the industry. Yeah.
Really?
I'm trying to look for.
You got your charger. We're almost up. We've got 1 minute anyway. Fingers crossed.
I've got 7. Yeah, you won't lose me. I've got 7%.
Okay. Fingers crossed we won't lose you. Okay. No. Okay, final question then, and then we will say goodbye. I've been told I'm great. So I've had a couple of meetings, auditions. I've been told I'm great. Someone is, they've gone with someone with a bigger profile. Has this ever happened to you? Any tips to get the job without loads of followers? So this is our final question, guys. Thank you so much.
What an amazing question to end with as well. Of course, that's happened to me. It's happened to me. I don't have a lot of followers on Instagram. I've got maybe 3,000 followers. It's nothing really. But again, your time will come, and you'll get the right fit. And also with my Instagram, I make sure that I'm using it in the best way, and giving people opportunities to see who I am, what I'm interested in, and the right eyes are always watching you. Believe me, and you just got to keep going. It's just one of those things. Yeah. It's one of those things. It's frustrating, but it will happen. And actually, if you're, people with these huge followings, sometimes it's not, I don't know how to say this, but everyone has their time, doesn't they, in their moment. And for me at the moment in my career, it's about consistency and it's about longevity. So don't worry, just keep going. It's just another no. And don't take anything personally. It's not about you. Honestly, try it. And I'm still telling myself that every day. It's not personal. Just keep going. You will get there.
Oh, what a great way to end, and bang on 12 o'clock. This is amazing. Thank you so yeah, countdown. Thank you so much, Sabrina. Honestly, your words have and your story has been so inspiring, and I hope everyone watching and tuning in has taken away a lot from this. I know I have. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah,
thank you for everyone for tuning in, and yeah, hopefully we can do another one of these with you soon and see your career grow even more.
Lovely. And I always say at the end of these talks that I do, you know, find me on Instagram if you have any other questions. I will get back to you. I will get back to you.
That is perfect. Thank you everyone again so much. We hope you've enjoyed it, and a huge thank you to Sabrina. It really means a lot you taking time out to do this for us. So thank you.
Thank you, Lauren.
Okay.
Bye.
Take care everyone. Bye.